Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at something very simple yet very elegant, which you don't really see too often on the workshop itself. So this is a house, simply called the Wood House A, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently standing on the balcony of. So this is all it is, it's an empty house, a very extravagant, very fancy design to have in your world and to decorate up with any kind of DLC packs or mods that you can think of that would be suitable for the interior. So anyway, pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, the Wood House A is a whopping 6,455 small blocks, using the Sparks of the Future, Heavy Industry, Decor Block number 1, the Signals pack, and the Decor Block number 3 DLC packs. Then up to here is a very important bit of information. You have to make sure super gridding is enabled in your world, if not you're going to get an error when you spawn it in, and parts of it will be missing. And we'll give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, or at least over to the front door, have a look around the outside, then a quick tour of the interior, which will be very quick because it's an empty house. And I believe that'll be that. I won't blow it up because it does have super gridding. I'm not too sure to the extent of the super gridding, so it might just crash if I try and blow it up with a warhead. So for the very front of the Wood House A, this is what we get, and there's a bunch of lovely wood and steel blocks to make up the main bulk of this building. We can also see some light creamy steel blocks, which I believe is concrete to separate it all up. Then over in this section we've got some blue corrugated skin just adding as little panels to close up as a hatch. Down to here some fantastic and very unique use of the planter block, which I haven't seen on any other design on the Steam Workshop, at least any other design that I can remember. This is just adding as a small planter, a small window planter, just as some extra decoration. And we're pulling all the way across over to this section, moving up the steps slightly, we've got a little barrel there for some decoration. Up to there's a small antenna and a small little porch light, and there's our doorway to get all the way inside. This is not a traditional doorway, it simply uses a hinge. We press that button, it will open up. Then we've got a button on the inside to close up right behind us. We'll see that a bit later on. Yes, looking all the way up at the ceiling, there we go, some fantastic woodwork there for a beam going all the way across. And putting away, here we go, moving up slightly, here is the balcony on the second floor. So we've got a very similar theme to what we just saw, but we've got ourselves a compact antenna adding a small little light. Then we've got wooden blocks come all the way up to some disco skin, adding a small little metal roof. But right down to there, we've got ourselves a little seat so we can sit on, and we'll hit outside. So my character coming all the way up to this, sitting in the seat, and there we go. It's a very cozy little area. Anyway, leaving them right there, moving all the way up slightly, over to this section, there's another little planter sitting in front of our window. Once again for our corrugated blue, just adding his little shutters. Then all the way up to here, here's another little window that goes up to our attic. But on the inside of here, we will have a ladder that comes all the way up to a very fancy little hatch, which you can open up with a button. There's the other button which will close up right after us once we're on the top here. This takes us to a small little bell tower, so it's like a small church converted into a house. Because up to here is your bell, there's a sound block, it sits on the hinge, and we can make it move around if we collide with it, and it should keep momentum for a fairly long time, or at least it did during my testing. Anyway, up to there's small little power to make sure it can actually all function correctly, and once again our disco sim returns, and that's in a small metal spire sit on the very top, with an antenna on the very tippy top to make sure you can always find this thing. Moving all the way away and coming down onto the side, there's another window to peer inside our attic, getting a bit closer over here and turning off my light. There we go, we've got some nice beam blocks coming all the way up, some steel blocks, then we've got some black that goes all the way up, our metal roof once again. Into this section, here's a little gap which I believe is just an air gap, make sure the inner wall can breathe. All the way down, past this section, some fantastic woodwork going all the way down, to once again some planters in front of windows. Round towards the back here, not too much to talk about, just some lovely woodwork, very Victorian crisscross pattern, at least I think it's Victorian off the top of my head. That comes all the way up and up and up to another window. Over there we can see the little button next to our ladder that goes up to our bell tower. And all the way up to here once again, all the way around. And there we go. Onto this side, it's going to be the same as what we just saw on the opposite. So all the way up, there's the bell, all the way down, metal roof, and there we are once again. Then all the way down underneath this thing, not too much to talk about apart from the landing legs, which is how we're going to drop this down into the world. So we all had to be quite careful with this to actually get it leveled. The way I did it was to use the Vauxhall hands, and we'll just make a completely flat surface, which sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the rest of the world. That's how I got to sit all the way down, so once you spawn it in, it might be a bit wonky, then you will have to unlock the magnetic plates or unlock the landing legs even. And we'll hope the bell tower doesn't wobble around, because it might tip over, or at least that's what I found when I spawned it in, trying to level it out. But with that, that's it for the outside. The Wooden House A. It's bloody fantastic how it's been set up. Absolute incredible design. So much work has been put into this that you could make a small village if you do follow through with the design, or if the creator did create other buildings to go along with this thing. Because like I said at the very start, there is a garage that goes along with it that isn't included with this design. so you could create your own little village using these types of buildings. But anyway, grabbing hold of my character, it's time for the interior tour, so hopping out of this chair and jetpacking all the way down to the ground. There we go. It's now time to walk all the way up these wooden stairs. So all the way up, here we go. Here we are in our little porch. There's a compact antenna. Over here's a little barrel, which is how I use to unlock magnetic plates or landing legs even. Don't know why I keep calling them that, but here they are right there, so we can just hit unlock, and then we just lock it when it's sort of level. Anyway, turning around, looking to this side, here's your window to peer inside the emptiness, and here's your button to open up the doorway, and there we go. Little sparks along the floor as it was to open and close, but nothing to really worry about as long as it's level and not wobbling around. Do that one more time. There we are. Now we can walk inside, turn around, hit this button, and now we're nice and sealed inside here. So this is what we get. It's a nice large open area for you to decorate with little chairs if you want to, but of course because the corner chairs and the sofas and all that are all large block only, you would have to use the mod that converts them into a small block in order to fit them in this room. So just ignore that for now, but that is an option if you want to do that. Putting on my lights, here we go. So we've got a lovely wooden rim that goes all around the bottom here. There's of course your doorway, there's your windows, and the back here is a lovely just flat piece of concrete for you to put some pictures on if that's what you want. But yes, here's the button. This is for your magnetic plates to actually lock them down. So if you did unlock them for whatever reason, you've got an emergency button there, press it, and then you're fully locked in place. Anyway, of course, these wooden stairs come all the way up. They look very dangerous. They are just wooden armored panels that go all the way up. But luckily, we don't have to jump on these. We can simply just walk all the way up. There we go. Now on the second floor, which would be your bedroom. We'll put some beds around the room. Maybe put a table, put some bookshelves, put a wardrobe, and whatever else you can think to put inside here. Maybe some plushies. We've just got windows all the way around the room. We can peer outside. There we go. And of course, we've got a doorway that will lead to our balcony, which is where I was standing at the very start of the video. So here's a little chair. There we are. To the opposite side, here's your window planter, and of course a good look at those shutters in the blue corrugated skin. Looking up to there, there's your disc skin adding us that metal roof, or at least it might be tiled roofs. I think that might be what they're going for, but I'm going to consider it metal because it is very shiny. But well, it's whatever you can think of. Yes, behind these railings this has been set up, so we've got ourselves a wooden half slopes come all the way across to these pillars. Then in between them we've got a neon tube sits adding us a little supports to keep it all the way up. It's a very clever way of actually getting around the bulky pillars that people usually go for to keep it more compact and more minimalistic. Anyway, yes, opening up this doorway, closing it once again, coming all the way around to another these steps. Here we are, and then into this section. So first of all, ignoring the attic, which is going to be up those steps, into this section we then got a crawl space, which I suppose you could decorate with a few little bits and bobs, or just use it as general storage, or other bits and pieces that you could use to make it into a functional base. So you could put some O2HU generators in here, put some batteries, put a refinery, put an assembler, put a survival kit on the edge, and just conveyor it all up, and use this as a small little, well, factory floor, if that's what you want. Yes, we can walk all the way across, into here, crouching, and there we are. We just walk around here, turning on my lights. It gets very, very dark. And well, it becomes basically pitch black. You can just about make out a few bits in the distance moving around. Maybe you will, maybe you will not. That'll depend on YouTube's compression. No, putting on my light once again. That'll come up these wooden steps right here. So up and around here is your attic. Once again, turning on my light, standing up. Here we go. So we've got a roof on this section. There's your ladder to go all the way up to the top of the bell tower. There's your button that will turn on my light. There we go. Press that. That'll open up the lid. Let's go all the way up. First of all, looking out this window. There we go. Onto this one, and then this one right here. And that's all there is in this section. So now climbing up this, here we go, to the top of the bell tower. There's your button to close up the lid, we're going to do right now. Pressing that, that'll close up. And now we're fully sealed at the top here. And here is your bell, so put my jetpack on, bumping into it. There we go, it can now wobble around. It won't make a sound unless you actually set that up. I'm sure there's something on the workshop that will create bell sounds for a mod. Yes, that just wobbles backwards and forwards, and we get a fantastic view all the way around. So if an enemy was approaching, we now just shoot them from here. And yes, that's about it for this section. But I suppose I could point out right here, because it is a very ingenious way of doing the bell tower, is that we're using pistons, yes, fully extended pistons from the base here all the way up, and that's how it's been extended all the way up. I suppose you could replace them with columns if you really wanted to. Yes, that's still a very unique way of actually raising up a roof. But anyway, as I said, that's pretty much it for the inside and outside of this building. It's a fantastic building to use in your WOD. If you do want to have just a simple house to use in your WOD, and I say simple is just an elegantly designed building, you could have a lot of fun decorating if you could find the appropriate mods to actually make stuff compatible with small block grid. But if not, you can use this as a small base, shove in some batteries, shove in a survival kit and all of that, and just use it as your day-to-day base. But that's entirely up to you if you want to do that. With that, that's all there is to this base. There'll be a link to the description below to show you how to play around yourself. highly recommend you do. And well, I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.